Good afternoon, sister and brother. I'm very excited because I just think I'm not lucky for me because I have to talk after the Dr. Kim Green and Rina because they have a lot of experience and so they are very expert. First, I would like to apologize for my English because I'm working with a sex worker where I learned how to speak English. Most of the time I spend time to learn how to speak English from sex worker, and then maybe my English like a sex worker accent. That I'm apologize. Okay, I will talk on behalf of the sex worker committee. That we share what is the service delivery model that for sex worker that we use in our organization in the country. The topic that's what I present today, that is I will talk about the context of sex worker in Thailand and also the swing for the service delivery model for sex worker and also the approach for the service delivery for the service package that's for sex worker and also the challenge and the next step what we have to do in the future. The context for law. That you know, in Thailand, sex worker is illegal, but the business is legal. That's why you can see the bar, club, and karaoke in everywhere. When the sex worker illegal, it's a lot of the problem because in the bar, the business owner, they are legal. They have right to open the club and bar if they are older than 20 years old. But the worker in the club, the bar, they have to be under the prostitution law. That they are illegal. When the situation like this, that is mean the business owner, they have more power. They have more power to control the sex worker. And then they have to do everything to control the sex worker because they know the sex worker cannot negotiate with them because the status of them are illegal. We found many of the business owners, they control the sex worker to do the HIV testing. And then the sex worker have to show the result. And then usually they will let the sex worker to do HIV testing every 3 months. And then when that day to do a testing, they choose to be on the day that they have to pay the salary. And then when the sex worker have to do a testing, they have to show the result to the business owner. And then who are positive, they will not pay the salary in that month. And also they will kick the sex worker out from that bar. They will not let them to continue to work. This is a lot of problem and a lot of the challenge for us when we have to work with them, try to promote the sex worker to do voluntary testing. And then some of the bar owners, they not agree with us, and then they not allow we to work with them. But we keep try hard to let them understand. And I will show you later what can we do with them. And the second context is on the policy. Since that's a sex worker in Thailand is illegal, but since we have the new prime minister, this prime minister, they have very strong control, and then they have a lot of the policy. They are now in the last year that we try to stop the sex business in Thailand. They try to clean out all the sex workers in Thailand, and then we found that every week. We found that the sex worker they get arrested from the police. They have also every night we will see after 10 at night. In some of the east area we see a lot of the military and a lot of the police. They come to try to control the business. Until some of the area we just get the bad news from the sex worker committee. Boy Thao. Do someone know Boy Thao? Boy Thao is near the Pat Pong in Bangkok. That is the main area for the male sex worker. The landlord they just announced 3 days ago. That's the landlord. They will close the Boy Thao on the end of this month. That is mean since in the April no male sex worker area in Bangkok. That is more than 1,000 of the male sex workers, they will lose a job. Right now, they don't know where to do and what to do and where to go. And then we are really wondering because many of them now they are on the ART, they are on the treatment. if the business had to close on the end of this month, this March, we don't know how can we follow them, and then we wondering they will not continue to get the treatment. This will be big problem and big challenge for the male sex worker in Bangkok. For the problem came from the policy, because when the police, they have very strong policy, and then the business owner or the landlords, they don't want to continue to open the business. And then when they decide to close the business, the problem will come through the sex worker, and then this is what can we do. And also for the context of the community. In the past, the government, they devised the type of the business for the venue-based and non-venue-based for sex worker. But since they have very strong control of the policy and law, the sex worker, they have very hard time to work in even the venue-based and non-venue-based, because they are afraid with the police. And then now we can divide that is for the sex worker business to the explicit-based sex worker and non-explicit-based sex worker. The challenge comes for the non-explicit-based sex worker, because we don't know how to identify who are sex worker, who are not sex worker. When we do the audit activity, we try to reach to the sex worker, but they not accept that they are sex worker. And also many of them, they use the online, they use the social media, try to find the customer. But when we try to reach to them, they will say, no, I am not a sex worker. It's very difficult, but even we know they are the sex worker, and then we try to give them information, try to bring them to get testing, but they not agree with us. The strategy what we are checking now, in the past when we show that we are the sex worker organization, right now we move that in another step. We say, okay, we are working with MSM and transgender. We not just like now that we are working with sex worker, because we are now that we are work with sex worker. Many of them, they will run away from us. That is okay, the problem that we face. Maybe the problem will get more and more in the next year or in the future for us to work with sex worker. Even the government also, even they have a right to reach to sex worker. Now, most of the government in many of the provinces, they cannot reach to sex worker. But the number of sex workers is still, but we cannot find them. That's because of the situation. The condom use, if we look at the data that from the doctor, we watch it from the debate. Yes, it seems like the high percent of sex workers use condom. In reality, it's not true. Because it's not easy for sex workers to use condom, because a lot of the problem. From the survey that we do in the last year, we try to do on the acceptability of the PrEP among female sex workers. In Pattaya and in Bangkok, we interview 142 sex workers about condom use. We found 60% of the female sex workers, the client don't want to use a condom. And then no choice for them, because they don't have enough power to negotiate with the customer. Because the customer is the person who pay the money, and then they have to follow what the client want. And also we found that 25% of the female sex workers, that's the client, they decide to use a condom, but later the client remove the condom out. That is mean most of them, they have the risk behavior, and then they have risk. But why we talking about PrEP? Even the female sex worker, because they have risk, because they cannot control the condom use. The condom is controlled by the customer. But if we have the choice for them, if we're talking only the condom, what can they do? PrEP, that is another choice for the female sex worker, but it's not lucky, because right now PrEP in Thailand is from from a program that for male sex worker, we just start for female sex worker. We hope that is more and more female sex worker, they need to take PrEP, for protect themselves. The context of the violence, that is another issue. We face that is many of the sex workers, they get violent. The people who make the violence is the people who's around of them. But mainly the problem still came from the client. From our survey, we do the survey on the violence among sex workers. in Pattaya last year, we do this survey with Mahidol University and the Johns Hopkins University in the USA. We found that 1 in 3 of the sex workers, they get violent. They have been violent from the client and from the police. And also when they get violent, most of them, they will keep that problem inside themselves. They don't want to report the police. They are afraid. That's because if they go to report the police, they will get arrested from the police because police they presume that they are the sex worker. And also many of them, sometimes they have a problem from the violence. They don't want to go to see the doctor in the clinic or in the hospital because they are afraid. That's okay. The people we know that they are sex worker. Even they are work in the club bar, but they are wondering because it's a lot of the stigma among sex workers. The STI, everyone talking about the STI is we increase in every target population, but for the key population, that is a high percent of the STI coming up, especially for the sex worker. In our clinic, we found that every day when we do the HIV testing, we found that we miss the sex workers who are get STI infection. The syphilis is a high percent of them. They get the syphilis, but the syphilis that is still in the male sex worker. But for female sex worker, we found some of them they get the syphilis from the selling sex. How Swing develop the service for sex worker? That's what we use. C, working together, integrate, and engage. That is the service delivery for a model for the sex worker that we use. We see situation and also understand the barrier and also the support chain. The mapping, that is very important for us. The mapping to helping us to know the situation of the community, and also the mapping can helping us to know how many sex workers in that area. And during that we do a mapping, we have to do the need assessment also. When we do the need assessment, we will know what kind of the problem, what they face, and what they need and what they want. And also one of the techniques when we do a mapping, okay, the first thing that we try to do the estimate number, we try to do the need assessment of them. And also in one direction when we do a mapping, we try to find who is the big brother in that area, who is the big sister in that area. And anytime when we do a mapping, we never forget to record birthday of the bar owner, birthday of the big brother, and birthday of big sister. That's why we have to record the birthday of the big brother, sister, and the bar owner, because it's not easy to let the business owner and the big brother and big sister in the community to accept the program what we do. We have to try to find a strategy. When we record the birthday of them, when that day coming, when the birthday of them, we go with the birthday gift to them. We give the birthday gift to them, and then it makes them feel, oh, we are part of the community. Sometimes they don't want me to do something, but say, okay, they let me do. We use that technique, and then we can say that we are very successful to get the support from the business owner and the bar owner in the area where we are work. And so, after we do a mapping, we know the problem what the sex worker face, and also the needs what from them. And after that, so we will understand the barrier. That's why many of them they cannot go to get testing, or they cannot reach to the service because many of the problem what they are faced. And then when we know the situation, we know the problem what they are faced. After that, we have to try to find the opportunity. We try to find the channel. We try to find the way how to helping them and to let them to get the service, and how we create the service to support them. That's we have to think all the time, because the situation is changed all the time. And also work together with the sex worker community and the key stakeholder. We cannot working alone. If the sex worker did not agree with the service what we will provide for them, we will not success. We know work our goal is we try to working on the HIV prevention and testing and care and support. But for sex workers themselves, they come to be a sex worker not because they want to hear about the HIV, but they come to be the sex worker because they want to earn the money, they want to try to get the better life. But when we do the activity with them, we know that self-stigma is a big problem among the sex workers themselves. Why many of them, they don't want to come to get testing, they don't want to come to see the doctor because they have the self-stigma. Some of them, they feel that, okay, I know when I come to be a sex worker, I will get HIV infection. I don't want to go to see the doctor. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to get testing. The empowerment activity is really important. We have to let them to feel that they have the value. Even they are sex worker, they have to respect themselves. They have to take care of themselves. They have to love themselves. And we be with them all the time. And then for make them feel that they are equal with everyone. Don't stigma themselves. And then after that, easy for us to reach to them and easy for us to bring them to come to attend the service that we are provide for them. And the business owner, what I mentioned before, that is very important. They are like the main guest who will open the door to let we to go to see the sex worker. For the business owner, we have to make them feel what kind of benefit they will get from us. If they are agree to work with the sex worker, we are welcome there to work with the business. And also after that, we let them to feel to understand what they will get, how important if their worker have the safety and also have the healthy life. And then what they will get from this issue, and then after that, okay, they will agree, and then they will support when we want to do the testing, we want to helping the sex worker in who are the positive in that bar. What I told you, some of the business owner they control the sex worker to do HIV testing. We spend a long time to work with some of the business owner or the bar owner to change their mind, to let them to understand even the sex worker, they are positive, they can keep continue, they are still healthy. And now many of the business owners, they already support when they know some of the sex worker in their bar, in the company is positive, they will contact us. And then they will let us to take care that worker, but they keep let the sex worker continue to work in that bar. This is I think we say this is very, very successful for us because we keep try because it's not easy in the beginning. But if we believe everyone can change, no one want to do something bad. But if we keep try with them and try to give them the information to show them the case, and so after that they will change their mind. They will support us. And the next person is very challenging for us because sex worker is illegal, and we know we are in different side of the law enforcement. We in different side of the police. We found that everywhere the police get arrested from the sex worker, they get arrested from the police. If we're fighting with the police, we know the big problem will come to sex worker, but we have to use our strategy. How can we work with them? What we do, we try to let the police they feel we are the partnership of them. We try to let them understand the way why to work with sex worker, why people to come to be a sex worker. We do a training for the police. Yeah, mainly we do in Pattaya. Last year we do a training for more than 40 of the police in Pattaya. In the training, okay, first step, we try to let them understand about HIV, why people to come to be a sex worker, and then after that, we try to let them to understand about the condom use, because what Kulina says before, that is many of the sex workers, they get arrested from the police because they're carrying condom. We try to let the police, they understand that the condom is tool for protect the disease. The condom not a tool for selling sex, and the condom not a tool for people to come to be a sex worker. And then during the workshop and the training, we discuss about this. And after that, what we do after the training, we ask the police who want to be a volunteer to be an audit worker with us. In that time, we have more than 10 of the police. They volunteer, they will be the audit team with us. And then at the night time, every night, we spend like 3 days per week. We will have the 3 of the police, we be the audit worker. We be the audit worker with our sex worker team. And then we go to distribute condom to the sex worker together. And then we can see many things change. And then the police, after that, the police, they distribute condom to the police themselves in the police station. And this we try to change the attitude of them about the condom. It's not the evidence for the sex worker or not evidence for the selling sex. And also, this is okay. We are working together with the sex worker community and also the stakeholder in the community. Integrate. In our drop-in center, we want to do many things because after we do a need assessment, we know the sex worker they need so many things, and then we think, okay, we want to have many of the service in our drop-in center, and then the main activity that we very successful for us right now, that is the KPLHS, the Key Population Less Health Service. That is mean the community people, the sex worker themselves, they can provide the service in the clinic themselves. In the past, we opened the clinic Monday to Friday during 1 p.m. to 7 at night. This time is very matching with the lifestyle of sex worker. We have like 10, 20, or 25 or 30 of the sex worker that come to get testing in our clinic. But after that, okay, we do the online testing, and also we do the audits in online. Many of the sex worker and the MSM, they said, yeah, they want to do a testing, but they cannot come during Monday to Friday. Okay, they asked me to expand the service on the weekend. Since in the last year, we opened the clinic on the weekend. We see that it's very, very helpful because during the weekend, usually the government clinics, okay, they are closed and the hospital they closed, but they can come to our clinic. And then now we open 7 days, and then every day we have more than 10 or 20 of the sex worker and the MSM that come to get a HIV testing and a STI screening. In our clinic, we do HIV testing and STI screening. Also, we provide PrEP and PEP, and also the same day ART. Thank you the Thai Red Cross to start the same day ART for us. And then we found that is many of the sex workers who are HIV positive, they can get the treatment in very early, and then okay can helping them to have the better life and a better health. And also, we do the STI testing in our clinic, but we can give treatment. We have the referral system to refer the sex worker to get the treatment, to get STI treatment, and also to get ART in the hospital and the clinic nearby our center. Every day we have the navigator who will take care of the sex worker, go to the clinic and go to the hospital. We have a lot of the hospital in Bangkok and so in Thailand who come to be a networking with us, and then they are very support for the case that we are referred to them. Mobile is very helpful for us because not every sex worker they can come to get tested in the drop-in center. Many of them they are afraid to come out from the bar or from the area because they are afraid with the police. And then the mobile can move the service to test in the bar, in the club, or in the sauna. That we can reach many of the sex workers who have a high risk, and then after that they know the status, and then they can get to the treatment. Once I told you the situation is changed, very difficult to find a sex worker because the law control and also the policy control. Using online, The online outreach by online, that is another option for us, because many of sex workers now they move themselves to they use the online because they cannot work in the bar, cannot work in the club. And then we found that is many of the sex workers and also MSM that we can reach them from online, and then they come to get a test. And then some of them they never be HIV testing before, and then we will show you our performance, how many % of them that is the first time testing that they know information from online. Yes, this is very important for us, because if we provide the service, if we don't know the service what we provide a success or fail, but when we do this information, and then we will know what kind of the service that we keep continue to do is, and what kind of the service that we have to develop, or we have to try to find another strategy. This our performance from the last year. We found that we have more than 2,000 of the sex workers who come to get HIV testing in our clinic, in the drop-in center, both in Bangkok and Pattaya, and many of them they are still keep continue to come back to get testing. And also for the mobile service, in last year we have more than 1,000 of them who come to get the testing in mobile, and also many of them we found that the yield of the people who come to get tested in mobile is very high than in the drop-in center in the Pattaya city. And also the online testing is also what we do in the past year. We found is we have 139 of the MSM and transgender who gets a testing from online, and also we found that 27 of them, around 90%, they are the first time testing. That they know information from the online. That is the first time HIV testing for them, and most % of them they are HIV positive, and then we can bring them to get treatment immediately. This is also the service what we are provide for them. And also for PrEP, last year we have 244 of the sex workers in MSM who come to take PrEP in our clinic. This is so when we have the data, our team they will see in the same picture how success of our project, how can we keep continue, how can we improve the service what we done. The approach for the service delivery, the approach what we use is we use on the human right base and the sex worker oriented service. And also we use the sex worker that is a client center. Everything that we provide, we follow from what they need when we do the need assessment, and then we decide the service to support them, to serve them. And the expected from the outcome that we want to see, and we want to see that the sex worker they can protect themselves from the disease. And also they can protect themselves from any kind of the violence what they face. And also they can take care of themselves when they are HIV positive. That is what we want to see. And also the goal, what we want to see from the service, what we do. We want to see that the sex worker, they have the good quality of life as same as another people in the society. This is a service package for sex worker that we are provide. The outreach activity in online and offline, that is very important for us. Yeah, we have to do outreach activity almost every day in the venue base and non-venue base, and also in the online. That for make sure most of them they will get information. Most of them they will know where they can get testing when they have the risk behavior. The clinic, that is okay. We provide the service. What I told you before, we provide HIV testing and also the HIV screening or PrEP and PEP, and also we give them the ART in our clinic. We have the doctor from the Thai Red Cross who are go to provide the service for us. And also the drop-in center. Drop-in center, this is a second home for the sex worker. They will have the safe space, and then they can do anything when they're at the drop-in center, and then we use the drop-in center to continue to helping them for the case who are positive. That's the care and support team. We use the drop-in center that like the second home for them and to support them and to take care of them. The education program, when we're working on the HIV prevention, what I told before, we cannot only just focus on HIV. We have to think about the issue around of them, what they need. The education program, that is one of the programs that we provide for them. Many of the sex workers, they have dream, they want to continue the education, but they cannot. Because most of them, they came from the poor family. But when they come to be a sex worker, when we provide the education program, they are very proud. In our drop-in center, we provide a non-formal education. We sign the MOU with the non-formal department education, and then we provide education for them. Until now, we have many of them, they are in university. And then some of them, they continue to be a sex worker. Some of them, they leave sex work. But we already have 5 of them that graduate from university. And some of them, they come to be a staff to work for our project. This is one of the service what we are provide for them. The human rights protection, this activity we try to show that to confirm that a sex worker, they are the human being. Yeah, they should get protected, they should get the service that they are the human being as same as another people. The last slide, the challenge and also the next step. We are, our strategy, we are follow the national strategy, we call RRTTR, recruit, test, treat and retain. For reach, that's even we do the outreach activity in the venue based and non-venue based and in online and offline, but we need to create more the service. We need to create more the activity to reach to sex workers, especially who are non-explicit, that who are not open themselves. We cannot find them because the situation is changed, and then we have to create more activity to reach to them. And recruit, because when we do the outreach, we try to recruit the sex worker to come to get test. Many of them, they not accept that, they have the high risk behavior, but we have to make them feel that they have the high risk, and then they have to come to get a testing. And then after that, we can refer them to get treatment if they are positive. For testing, right now, Swing and so M+ Sister and CAMAT and also Rainbow Sky, we can come to be a KP, LHS, we can come to provide the HIV testing by ourselves, but that is not enough. We need more, and we need to expand more the community people, and also KP can do the HIV testing by ourselves. That we need is the country should accept this is one of the policy of the country to expand that, to accept that a service is run by the community people. And for the treat, the same day RT, maybe the new era for health, the positive sex worker can get the treatment early, because it's very hard for us to bring them to get the testing when they know the result. We don't want them to lose from the treatment, and then if we have the same day ART, maybe that is the good way can help them to get treatment, and also they can continue the treatment for the future. And for retention and retain, we have to create the strategy. How can to retain, even they are negative, the result negative or positive, we need to retain for make sure everyone on the process, on the service. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, ค่ะ คุณสุราง